Hey all, my name is Denise, also known as Nisi, and this is the first time I have really done any kind of video or wanted to reach out at all like this, because I feel like I am at the point in my life with what has been going on. It's this is one of the things that's happening. It's taking over my life. It's taking away from my memory, my physical capacities, common sense, order, nature of order. Basically what I'm trying to say is I am a very bad migraine sufferer and have been since the age of 35, and I will be turning 49 this year. I'm hoping by speaking out and speaking up about this that to find I'm not the only one, which would really mean so much to me, that to find out I'm not the only one, because I cannot seem to get help or treatment or the correct treatment for what's happening to me. I'll quickly go down. When I was 35, I started having migraines maybe once a month. I'd take some Tylenol, sleep for a few hours, and I'd be feeling okay again. But as time progressed, the migraines began enhancing in frequency and the height and sharpness of the pain, the longevity of the pain, the sickness, when I say the sickness, I mean vomiting non-stop every 20 to 30 minutes like clockwork for 10 to 12 hours on end, relentlessly. I'm not breathing and haven't been breathing for hours due to hyperventilating because of all the vomiting and dry heaving I've been doing. I cannot see. I cannot take the touch of a feel. No light whatsoever. No food. I can't even, if it's too late, I can't even take my migraines to help me, because I will just throw them right back up. So as time progressed, I actually a few months back had a really bad migraine. We were going on the 12th hour. My boyfriend had called off work that day because he just had a feeling. I'd been going at it since 2 o'clock in the morning. And I know this is too much, but now when I am in that mode of the vomiting from the migraine, I might as well just sit down on the toilet, because it's coming out of all ends at the same time for some reason. Well, this time I was just so exhausted from the fight. I was sitting on the toilet. I didn't even realize I fell asleep, and I fell forward and bashed my head into the door trim. And that was when I said, okay, sweetie, I think I better go to the hospital. So I go to the hospital, and I go to check in. They can see I'm not breathing. I told them I had high blood pressure. I told them how long I have been dealing with this pain. It's having a different kind of effect on me in some way. I can tell just not the standard things of your typical headache. And at my age, I think I should have, emergency rooms or whatever, they really need to provide, if there's no beds, if someone comes in with a migraine, they need to provide a specific room or area just for migraine sufferers until they can get back. That would be so much more helpful and kind. But long story short, this trip to the ER, and they even took my blood pressure and knew it was high. I said, I can't breathe. And I could barely get one word out through each breath, hard. And then the nurse taking my blood pressure and all, she said, if you're able to talk, then you're going to be just fine. It's going to be, what did she say, like a 2 to 3 hour wait because we don't have any beds available. I was in tears. I felt like I was dying. She could not even respect the volume of her voice in regards to what was happening to me at the time. Just very insensitive. That specific trip, I went out to the emergency room. My boyfriend was with me. My abdomen was hurting so bad, and I just couldn't breathe. I couldn't sit anymore. I had to lay on the floor and like straighten my body out because that would help, with my abdomen. And I remember looking around at all the feet that were in the emergency room, and I fell asleep for the first time since 2 o'clock that morning. I vaguely remember a security guard coming over to tell my boyfriend to pick me up off the floor, the concrete floor. I cannot sleep there. And I think he told the security guard in a nice way to fuck off and leave us alone. She's resting. And I appreciated that. And, at least they could have at least given me a bag as badly as I was hyperventilating. But anyhow, that was the first straight 2 hours that I got solid sleep. No vomiting, nothing. I finally woke up. I could feel the nausea, which is the hell part of the migraines. I could feel it was over. And I still hadn't been called. I would say there were only 2 other people left in the room. I was so hurt, and it caused so much mistrust in emergency rooms for me. Even though everyone always says, if it gets to a certain point, you're going to have to go to the emergency. With me, I'm like, oh, hell no, I don't. I'm not, no, I might die waiting to be seen. That's how I feel. Or I've had to sit there with the vomiting of the migraine, throwing up in front of God and every other person that happens to be sitting in the emergency room. Just the total lack of medical compassion, Anyhow, as far as any other help is concerned, yes, I have been to several neurologists. I've been to the one neurosurgeon that I did go to. I live here in Indiana. The one neurosurgeon that I did go to, he agreed to see me if I would do MRI. And I did. I was so excited for this appointment. I'm desperate. I'm absolutely desperate for help. I went in, gave them my $40 copay. I got called back to the room where I'd be seen. Luckily, that morning, I woke up in full-blown migraine, and how I made it to that office which was at the hospital, is by the grace of God. I don't know, but I did by myself. I went into his office to be seen there, and I'm on the floor on my knees, bent over the trash can, trying to breathe, trying to control my vomiting. This is why I'm there. This is why I'm there, to see you, because this is what is happening to me. Okay? So this doctor walks in, he looks at the MRI I did, and he says, I don't know why you're here. There's nothing on your MRI. If you are that sick, you need to get the hell out of my office and go to the emergency room. I threw up again, and I just started crying. At the end, the insensitivity of being able to rely on someone who should be or has taken an oath to help you. I've been fired from practices, from begging for help. My migraines are so bad that when I tell people that these are slowly killing me, I'm not believed. These migraines, and I'm saying this to normal people, non-medical people. I'm saying this to medical people, and I am saying this to high-paid doctors. Do not for 1 second ever think that the power of migraines cannot physically affect you, that they cannot mentally affect you, because I am living proof. In the last years, I have been working with one specific doctor, and I've been telling him everything starts at my brainstem. Every migraine, every time, 24 hours a day, I am in pain from my brainstem. And this is what causes me the migraines. I decided for the first time about maybe 5 weeks ago now, just to take a second on my own. How I got Google. Let's type in the source, and let's type in what bothers me. What's my number one problem? My migraine. What is the source? The brainstem. And what popped up was bacillar brainstem, or migraines, which is, I guess, part of a Bickerstaff family. I have endured these migraines of 2 to 3, if not more, a week. And it's now to where once my migraine is somewhat over, I no longer have control of my muscles. I am experiencing involuntary movements now. I am experiencing, I no longer have balance, let's put it that way. If I were to get pulled over, them thinking I was intoxicated, I would absolutely fail walking their straight line, absolutely, in a heartbeat. my cognitive has been taken away from me because of this. It's like each time I had the migraine, it was putting more and more and more damage on my brainstem. And your brainstem, I believe, is supposed to be the one thing that runs your whole body. So I could not keep a job. Or shall I say, I had a very, very patient and understanding supervisor, but it got to the point where having to call off 30 minutes to an hour before your shift almost every day because you don't know how you're going to wake up. My daily wake up was waking up with what felt like someone took a shovel and just bashed the back of my head in, and all I could do was get to the toilet, crawl to the toilet, and start vomiting nonstop. How am I supposed to keep a job like this for years? So yeah, now I'm having extreme problems with my short-term memory. I've lived in the same place since I was 19 years old. And when I go out to the car now, I forget where I'm going, why I'm going, what it is that I'm after. And I feel lost. I feel like like I'm experiencing dementia. And this is not something that's happening at a slow rate and graduating. This has been crashing by the day in the last few weeks. I'm upset the most because I feel like if someone would have just typed in my 2 symptoms to begin with, maybe a lot of this could have been it's hard for me to remember words now. Why is it so hard to get help for this? I stand with anybody who has to endure the hell of this and not be believed, be nothing but kicked down, be nothing but rejected. This is a hell I would not wish upon anybody. It has ruined my relationships. I can't go out in cold weather anymore unless I absolutely have to. I may have what feels like an aneurysm from a muscle that goes into a Charlie horse in an instant, and it feels like this whole side of my face is going to explode like a pimple. I'll see black and purple and stars